apologizing for mistaking Black Panther director Ryan Coogler for a bank robber in Atlanta. TMZ obtaining surveillance images showing him at the bank in January. A police report says an employee called police when Coogler handed the teller a withdrawal slip for $12,000 and a note asking her to be discreet. Body camera video shows him in handcuffs until police realized the bank's mistake. Authorities do not believe race was an issue. Coogler, the teller, and several officers were African American. Bank of America tonight saying the incident, quote, never should have happened.
Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of Viral. I'm your host as always, Ken Dix here. Glad you can join us here on Viral. We talk about Black Panther director Ryan Coogler being racially profiled at an Atlanta bank while he was trying to trying to withdraw money from his own bank account. When we get to the latest, first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Viral here on Connect. But don't forget to subscribe. Subscribers can. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on Viral. As we talk about Black Panther's director Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler has been in a lot of many films, even Fruitvale Station, even a lot of films that you may know or heard of. But many may you know him as the director for Black Panther. Yes, Ryan Coogler was in Atlanta where he lives, and he was trying to discreetly withdraw his account, but the bank teller saying that she believed that Ryan Coogler was there to rob her, but that wasn't the case. Let's look back and see how all this transpired.
Bank of America this morning is saying that what you're seeing in this police body camera video should never have happened.
You got weapons on you, buddy? I got a fat on you, bro.
On January 7th, people working at one of their banks on the north end of Atlanta called police, saying that the man seen here in the green sweatshirt being put in handcuffs was trying to rob the bank, which wasn't true at all.
If you just wrong my name, you understand why you should take off the cuffs.
What the bank didn't immediately realize is that this is 35-year-old movie director Ryan Coogler, a very successful and wealthy filmmaker who doesn't need to rob banks.
What up, Ryan?
In fact, the first film he directed was Fruitvale Station, which told the true story of a racially charged police encounter in California where a young black man was killed.
I got other plans for my life, and this wasn't part of it.
He directed actors Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone in the boxing movie Creed. And in 2018, he broke box office records directing Black Panther for Disney, which remains the most profitable film ever with a black director. It's why he was here in Atlanta in January, filming the sequel to the film. The incident started when he walked into the bank fully masked with a black hat and sunglasses and gave the bank teller a withdrawal slip. On the back of the slip was this note obtained by TMZ saying, "I would like to withdraw $12,000 cash from my checking account. Please do the money count somewhere else. I'd like to be discreet." The bank teller and nearly every other person in this incident was also African American, but she didn't recognize that he was a famous Hollywood director. In the police video, she tells officers that when she asked questions, he kept quietly pointing her to the note.
He just kept pointing, he's like, look at the note. So I'm like, okay. And so I said, these are your IDs. His ID, the California ID. But my stomach started turning on it. I'm like, okay, this is odd.
She also says he gave them his Bank of America account card, but they still called police.
I have police en route. Can you see, are you able to see if he's still there? I don't want to really turn the phone on.
When police came, they explained in their report that they determined this was a, quote, mistake by Bank of America, and that Mr. Coogler was never in the wrong. He and the two people he was here with were released.
I was thinking to the officer that arrested me. That had their Glocks out. Yeah. So I was putting money on my own account. I understand. We have to confirm that because of the seriousness of the call, we don't just come out, and unfortunately in a situation like that, you don't get the benefit of the doubt. We detain and then we ask questions later.
In a statement, Bank of America says that we deeply regret that this incident occurred. We have apologized to Mr. Coogler. The director tells ABC News that Bank of America worked with me and addressed it to my satisfaction, and we have moved on.
Coogler said that remained his innocence, saying that he was just trying to be discreet about it. But the bank teller went over his head, trying to make it seem like she was being robbed. But I wish that bank teller would have really like done her homework, her research. Most of the time, some of the bank tellers are trained, but sometimes in cases like I get sometimes with the notes, you never know if you're being robbed. I get that, but he didn't say this is a stick up or nothing like that. He was just saying be discreet. So it was missignaled messages between the bank teller and Cooler a little bit. Cooler was just being upfront. He probably just didn't want to be seen or heard. He just wanted his money up front. And hey, now we don't know where we go from here. Bank of America has not made a statement, but if they have, here is the statement. But Cooley kind of a little bit want to remain his innocence, so you can respect that a little bit. But at the same token, sometimes you never know. You can be real a high person that doing all the success like Cooley with Black Panther, generating $1 billion, and you can still be treated different, felt the same as a black man in America. It's just how it is. Well, let's hear what you people had to say out there about Ryan Coogler being thought of being a bank robber in a Bank of America in Atlanta. This.
Wrongly accused of attempting to rob a bank? How does that happen? Director Ryan Coogler said he has now moved on after he was placed in handcuffs and mistakenly accused of trying to rob a bank in Atlanta. According to the reports, the Atlanta Police Department, 2 officers responded to a bank holdup at Bank of America. Officers confronted a man and woman parked in front of a bank inside of a black Lexus SUV. Police said the couple thought the officers were going to ask them to move their vehicle. They told the police they were waiting for the movie producer Ryan Coogler, who was making a transaction inside the bank, according to the report. Police said they asked them to provide a description of Coogler, which police said matched the description of a possible subject with the 911 caller who said they was trying to rob the Bank of America, man. Proximity to complexion sometimes leads to criminalization, huh? The man and woman were placed in handcuffs, then simply detained in back of a marked police patrol cars while officers continued to conduct an investigation. Before I go further in the story, this is my beef with people that are class reductionists. You see what I'm saying? What I mean by class reductionists is folks that say, hey, gender and race don't matter. It's all about the money. It's all about what your class status is. Hey, man, what the Kanye verse said? Even if you an N-word in the bench, still an N-word in the coop. Hey, Ryan Coogler being the producer of one of the biggest movies in history did not stop his skin complexion from being criminalized. You see what I'm saying? According to the police report, the award-winning director came to the bank to withdraw over $10,000, specifically $12,000, according to the teller's statement to the police from his account by writing a note on the back of a withdrawal slip in an effort to be discreet. The suspicion is in your complexion, especially when you're in proximity to finances. You see what I'm saying? But the bank teller did receive an alert from Coogler's account. She told the manager there was an attempt to rob the bank. The report states that the emergency responders were summoned. I read a couple articles that was trying to rationalize with racial stereotype and saying some shit like, well, Coogler had on a mask and he had on glasses and he wrote it on the note. And that's the reason why he thought he was a bank teller. I mean, a bank robber, a bank thief. Bank robber? You know what I mean. The point is recognizing how class reductionism doesn't get us anywhere, but we have to always have an intersectional analysis, because even if you have a particular economic status, it does not negate how your status is always influenced by your skin color. You see what I'm saying? It's not just American either. Like, y'all remember when the black billionaire Oprah got racially profiled in Switzerland? She a billionaire. They thought she was trying to steal in that mother, man. Y'all remember when world-renowned Professor Henry Louis Gates at Harvard was arrested for trying to quote-unquote break inside of his own home? To be clear, I'm not saying that class doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that your class position is always filtered through the way you're racialized. And in conclusion, remember last year when I was trying to have that conversation with Marcellus Wiley and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar about class reductionism? This is what I was trying to get at. You feel me? Still open to the conversation too.
Panther director Ryan Coogler, he was in the bank and he got targeted as a bank robber.
Come this way. Whoa. Put your hand behind your back. Got it. You got it. Is there any reason you're not doing this, bro? Give me 1 second. Hold on. What's going on, my man? trying to put money on my own. You said what? Yeah, this your phone? It is, right.
Good job, man.
Can you, did the officers explain what's going on while we're out here?
Not really, man.
Alright, so we got a call base.
I heard somebody ask me if I passed the note.
Yeah.
This might have been one of these those that.
So basically, we got a call, and from what we got the call, it seems like someone was trying to rob the bank.
They had their Glocks out.
Yeah.
So I was pulling money on my own account.
I understand.
I put my own bank card in there before they let you in the back. You know what I'm saying?
So we have to confirm that. You gotta understand, we don't come out because of the seriousness of the call. We don't just come out, and unfortunately, in a situation like that, you don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Black Panther director's in January when he went into a Bank of America with sunglasses and a mask on and being mistaken for a bank robber. He was detained briefly and then released. The details are a little muddy, but it shouldn't have happened. It's just another instance of black people being black in the world. God forbid you walk into a bank and you need some money withdrawn and then you have to be detained. In Atlanta, he's an Oscar-nominated producer. He handled Black Panther. This is, again, just like exhaustion at its most with me right now.
When we were covering this story at Variety, I was just thinking, it's such a wild story. And like you said, it should have never happened. It's almost unthinkable that it did happen. He was doing absolutely nothing wrong. And I can't imagine how terrified he was. To all of a sudden, if you look at the footage that's been leaked, you see him and he's being handcuffed. He has no idea what he is doing. He was very calm in the video. He handled it incredibly well. He actually, though, told us at Variety, he said this should have never happened, but everything is okay now. But it's just, I mean, like you said, this should have never happened. There's really nothing else to say.
Another example of change that needs to happen.
A lot of you people had a lot to say. Some of you said positive message to Ryan Coogler about he was just only trying to withdraw money from his bank account, and the bank teller went over her head. But that's how it be sometimes. But sometime in this instance, he didn't do nothing wrong. I think the bank teller needs to be a little bit trained more on how she needs to figure out if someone's robbing her or someone's not. So whoever at the Bank of America in Atlanta needs to retrain her, educate her. A lot of people calling that she need to lose her job and stuff, but maybe she was, you never know. You might get those folks that start the job and had those jitters and don't know how the effect is. So it could be that. We never know. But thank you all for watching this edition of Viral. We talk about Ryan Coogler being racially profiled at a bank while he was trying to withdraw money. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. We'll see you next time for another edition of Viral.